Hi friends, this week I'm taking you behind the scenes on the full design process, sort of from start to finish, for my handmade clothing business, Darwin Textiles. It's all 100% linen, plant dyed. It's really earthy, soft, lovely for summer. So I'm actually putting together what will be my biggest collection launch for the whole year, which is my spring summer collection. And I want to show you the full process of how I start from an idea or a need in my wardrobe and then take that all the way through several iterations of making it until I get a garment that fits really well, and hopefully one that will sell really well on my website as well. So for this collection, I am designing 3 different garments, and I originally only planned on keeping it simple, just doing one design this spring. And then I got overcome with tons more ideas of designs I wanted to make that I really just couldn't pass up. The 3 designs that I'll be putting out are a super flowy jumpsuit, a button-up t-shirt, and a minimalist maxi dress. I think what I'm going to do to keep this video somewhat short is just tell you a little bit more of the backstory of the design process on the shirt and the dress, and then give you the real behind the scenes deep dive on how I developed the really flowy jumpsuit. Coming up with each design and developing it to its fruition is really just about addressing certain challenges. So having some sort of need in my own personal wardrobe, or maybe in my customer's wardrobe, that I really want to be able to solve. All right, look number 1 to set the scene. It is August of 2023, and I'm going with my family to my cousin's wedding in very hot South Carolina. And I need to have a wedding guest dress that is suitable for this experience. And so my challenge for myself was to make something that was super breathable, but also had this more elevated, fancy look to it. Something that felt chic, and it did also have to be pastel to fit the color theme of the guest dress code. So for this challenge, to make it as breathable as I could, I knew that I was of course going to be using my 100% linen fabric because that is the most breathable fabric out there. But then I also decided to go sleeveless, and I knew I really didn't want to have to wear a bra. Bras always make me feel like really sweaty and confined and constrained, and I can't stand it. And so I did do a lining on the bodice. It's just double layer of my linen fabric. And that made me feel like I had a little bit more security in that area and I didn't have to wear a bra at all. And then I also added a slit in the side of the skirt so that I could sort of twirl around freely and do all of my dancing and have that breeze hit my lower legs in a way that makes me feel majestic. And then to sort of dress up the linen, make it feel more chic or fancy to wear to this special event, I went with a really simple minimalist silhouette. That way the dress sort of acts as a palette to really showcase my jewelry, like my earrings, my shoes, and honestly to be able to showcase that really rich dye color. I went with a light blue indigo. I was so happy with how this dress felt and looked while I was at the event that I knew for sure I wanted to hold on to this design to bring it into my spring collection and share it with all of you. All right, for look number 2, this shirt was born from wanting to make a hack out of one of my current sewing patterns, the canary sewing pattern. The canary shirt is the best-selling shirt in my whole shop, and of course the canary sewing pattern is also my best-selling sewing pattern so far. So I wanted to see if I could stretch the design of this sewing pattern to give people who have purchased it even more options. And for people who like the design and want it handmade by me, to give them a spin-off of one of their favorite shirts. The canary pattern has a lot of variations to it, so you can do more of a crop top or you can add a peplum waist to it. And I find that the crop top is really perfect for wearing with high-waisted pants, but it is a little bit flowy, revealing if you aren't wearing a bra underneath. And so I wanted some way to make this shirt feel like it had a little bit more security. So if I raise my arms up, there isn't anything flying in the breeze. So my challenge for going into this design was to use my already existing canary sewing pattern to create a summer-ready top that actually shows a little bit less midriff than the crop top version of this pattern. So to make this shirt more summer ready, I simply just shortened the long sleeve into a short sleeve. And I stuck with the crop top style. But to feel a little bit more secure, I went ahead and extended that waist by at least 2 inches, and I added a sort of elastic waistband in the back and waist ties in the front that help it sort of cinch right at my waistline, right where it hits my high-waisted pants. And I find that this really gives me more of a slimming silhouette because it brings it in at my waistline without having that bulkiness of having to tuck a shirt into your pants. The cinched waistline is actually inspired by this shirt that I thrifted that had something similar. It has like a loose flowy shape, just like my shirt does, and then it has a drawstring waist on the front, and it has a little bit of an elastic on the back. If you're interested in seeing how to adjust my sewing pattern for that, I'm gonna go ahead and make a tutorial for that in a couple weeks. All right, now for look number 3, which is my favorite of the 3 and the one that I'm really going to dive into today. I'm so excited about it. It's a flowy jumpsuit, which I'm calling the Sanctuary jumpsuit. And it's inspired by a pair of pants that a customer sent me a couple years ago that she said were her favorite pair of pants. She just wanted me to recreate them. And I got them in the mail, and they are truly awesome. They have 6 panels on each leg that just billow out into these really wide, flowy pants. And she was telling me about how comfortable they were to wear in so many different situations. But when I made her the pair of pants, I found when I tried them on, I thought they were super comfy, loved them. But I felt like it's a lot of fabric to be wearing and kind of sitting on your hips. They felt a little bit heavy to me. And so my challenge was to turn these pants into something where it felt weightless, and I also really wanted something that felt formal enough to wear this year to some special events that I have coming up. Now, I knew a jumpsuit would be perfect for this challenge because a jumpsuit helps bring a lot of that weight up and distribute it up onto the shoulders throughout the whole body. And a jumpsuit with this flowy of legs I knew would have the flow sort of a long dress. And if I add a little bit of ruffle and some really polished finished seams, this would be the kind of outfit that you can put on. You don't have to match the top and the bottom. It's just one flowy, seamless, effortless, chic garment. Woohoo! All right, I'm gonna take you behind the scenes of how I put together look number 3, the Sanctuary jumpsuit. All right, so far I have the pants with the really wide flowy leg. It's 6 panels per pant leg, and you get this really awesome, huge sort of bell-bottom flow pant leg. So I've got these all made up. The first time I made them, they were a little bit too small, and so I actually had to take the seams out by about a 1/2 inch total so that I could get a really good, perfect fit right around the crotch and butt area. And now that I'm thinking I'm going to be making these into a jumpsuit, I'm actually going to be using my Junebug jumpsuit to sort of start that process. So I love the Junebug jumpsuit. I wear it super often. Fits me really well. I think it's nice for petites, especially just because it has this like higher waistline that helps elongate the legs a little bit more. So I'm going to be modeling off of this design, and I know that the top waistband of the pants I have right here isn't quite wide enough yet to be able to match up with the bottom waistline right here of the bodice portion. So I just need to make these even a little bit wider at the waistline to give that room for them to kind of expand and contract with the elastic and fit the top a little bit better. All right, so when I have these on over the jumpsuit here, you can see that where I have the waistline right now isn't going to reach up high enough to get to that higher up elastic waistband. So I'm adding like 3 inches here so that I can make sure that it's tall enough to meet the bodice. And then I'm thinking about where I want to put the pockets, because on these ones I have like patch pockets that are like sewn on top, if you can see, on the Junebug. And that's really nice and comfy, durable. It's a little bit more casual though, and I think I want to make these pants feel a little bit more dressy. And I think I don't want to cover up any of these cool seam lines either. So I think I'm going to do probably inseam pockets right here on the hip, going inward. I am going to add these ruffles. On the original Junebug design, it just ends right here at like a short sleeve, and I added these ruffles so that I could feel a little bit more fancy at my brother's wedding. But I think I want to permanently add the ruffles to give this whole thing just that even more cool, flowy volume. Kind of got to situate myself. I have so much going on. I think I want to do more of a V-neck with this look. And so I'm going to drop that neckline down about 3 inches. I don't want it too much because I don't like to wear a bra, and I also like to dance a lot, so I don't want any flingers coming out. I am going to keep the back the way it is. I found this to be a very comfortable back closure. It just like flaps in the back, so it like opens like this so that you can get it on really comfortably, and there's no zippers because I can't stand zippers. And then I do a plenty big button so that it's not too hard to reach back and be able to secure it right up top. I don't know, I think that's nice and like loose and flowy. You kind of get a little bit of a peekaboo back there, which I also like, any little sort of peekaboo moments. I think something else I might adjust about the design is maybe make the top about a 1/2 inch, the bodice piece about a 1/2 inch longer to give myself a little bit more breathing room up in the top here, although it does already kind of billow a bit from this angle. The thing about jumpsuits is just that you want to be like, you don't want to be putting your arms up and get stuck with a wedgie, right? So getting your arms up and having this all jam up your crotch is no fun at all. So it's just providing just the right amount of space that it's not too baggy, because I think part of the fun of these pants is that they do kind of come into this waistline and come out to a big flow. So I don't want too baggy, but I think I might just drop this down at least a 1/2 inch on the bodice. I also have such little boobs that I feel like even though the size gets bigger for each of the larger sizes, I just want to make sure that I'm also providing enough space for someone who does have a much larger bust size than me, that they get more breathing room. Although I'm just thinking, like, if it is a 2X, I mean, they should theoretically, it will go out this way and this way. But will it go out enough? I just have such such a flat chest that I want to make sure that the design starts at a pretty decent spot for a lot of different bust sizes. Okay. And if all goes poorly and this doesn't look good as a jumpsuit, I think the pants on their own are pretty freaking cool. And I could just do them as pants. It's just that I hate tucking stuff into my pants. I hate having to tuck stuff in and like it bunching up under the pants. And it's so nice when you're getting ready for an event or going out or something to just put on the one thing. Like it's just one full outfit. You don't have to worry about mixing and matching. It just is like one cool, flowy, big situation. Big, I mean, not oversized, but just sort of like big personality, you know? Yeah. Okay, so that's the plan. I already have the top patterned out because I'm really just changing the V-neck on it, so I'm probably not actually going to cut out a new pattern piece. But I think I am going to go ahead and try and make the full jumpsuit out of a bed sheet now and see how it fits, sort of wear it around for the afternoon around the house and see how I like it.
What I really love about working with bed sheets is that you can, on your first pass of it, you can just use it almost like paper as far as being able to write on it. So I, have made all these adjustments and I kept changing my mind a bunch of times, and just using a pencil and marking my final line with a highlighter, I'm able to really clearly draw, make any adjustments I need on this first draft and really not feel bad about leaving marks in different places.
All right, so my current thoughts are that the waistband, even though I thought I wanted to bring it down, there is a reason why I had it up higher. I think proportionally it just looks a little bit better higher up. to kind of like make this bust line look better. So I'm probably actually going to bring the elastic waistband line up an inch. And then I think the pants themselves are just more flowy than they need to be. So I have them clipped on this side. This is them unclipped, and I'll try and give like a full, this is how flared they actually are, and I think that's more than they need to be. Like, it is just a gross amount of fabric around the leg, and I feel like it's losing the look of, like, at some point it sort of just feels like this might as well be a skirt, and it would be a lot easier to sew if it was just a skirt. So I either need to just switch to it being a flowy skirt, I think, or stick with the pants but make them just a little bit less flowy, because I want it to be like flowy like a skirt but not too much. So what I pinched out on this side is one full panel's width down at the bottom and up to about my knee, and that's about 10 inches. So I think just removing 10 inches and it's still plenty flowy and big compared to this side. Another thing I'm running into is my other jumpsuit that I sort of modeled this after. It does have a little bit of a lower crotch. The lower crotch does help you be able to reach up higher. I'm getting like front and back wedgie bad when I try and reach up in this. I mean, I don't do this pose super often, so I'm not massively worried about it. Like, sitting and like moving in all our other directions is super comfortable. It's really just this. So I think if I move this waistband up, the bodice will become shorter, the pants will become taller, but I will also maybe add a ½ inch to the pants so that there's a little bit more room down in the crotch, in the rise of the pants. So I think those are the changes I'm going to do if I stick to it being pants. I'm going to actually just wear this bedsheet version around, I think, for the rest of the day, and keep staring at myself in the mirror repeatedly to get more of a feel for it and not make any too snap of decisions on it before I make my next version. But yep.
I'm gonna make my next sample out of a green linen fabric. It's the same weight and texture and opacity and flow and everything as my final garment will be. I'm trying to get better at doing multiple versions of every garment before jumping just straight into that final one. And this bolt of fabric I had left over from a different project that I was commissioned for, and we accidentally ordered too much. So I'm super happy to be able to reuse it here. I probably wouldn't wear this green color in my wardrobe as is. I like it all right, but I think I am probably going to sew it up and then dip it in my indigo dye or my dark charcoal dye and see how that looks. I think that'll probably integrate a little bit better into my day-to-day wardrobe. All right, I don't know if I can get the whole thing in the shot or not. Almost. It turned out so good. I'm super happy with, I put the waistline up a little bit higher and so adjusted everything in this region. I really like how it turned out. I haven't hemmed the pants yet, so they look super long, but I'm probably gonna take like a ½ inch off and then do like a 1 inch double fold. So 2 inches will go into the hem. And that should get me exactly where I want to be. And I feel like I'm in a good enough spot that at this point, I'm actually going to sew it up in my final fabric that I'm going to be doing the photo shoot in. Ooh, 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 ooh. I feel cute. Ah! I love it even more in white. I think it turned out so pretty. It has like a versatility to it that this could also be worn to other special events and traveling, and oh yeah, I'm so excited to wear this summer.
This is gonna be awesome. I think you guys are gonna really like this one. Look at that flow. It really sort of feels like I'm wearing a maxi dress, but without having any like leg chafing. And I think I nailed the reach test, which for jumpsuits, it's just important that when you're reaching up for anything, that it's not giving you a whole wedgie situation. And so it's not too droopy of a crotch, but it does give that space for reaching. And I think I've got plenty of space here for the bust line, and especially for in larger sizes as like the bust fills out a little bit more. Oh, this is so comfy. I think I nailed it. And 1, 2, 3. Thanks so much for keeping me company while I designed my new clothing collection. I hope you love the new designs as much as I do. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite of the 3. And I'll be back hopefully next week with a little bit of a behind the scenes look at the photo shoot process for getting all of this beautiful luxury linen clothing onto the digital screen. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you see that video when it comes out. And also join my email newsletter. That's the best spot to get updates on new collection launches, new sewing pattern launches, and just get more sewing, design, and mindset tips. Plus, very often, my email newsletter subscribers get special discounts on my new stuff. So I'll see you there. Bye!